when I read the full script, I was like, "Ooh, that's gross. That's gross. That's gross." And then it wasn't until I read this one scene and then I was like, "Oh, that's disgusting." I was like, "Oh my God."
Welcome to the Real Appreciation Podcast. I'm David Clair-Bennett, and with me today is an actor and filmmaker best known for his role as Dan Shelter in Stranger Things, and he's about to be known very well for his upcoming performance as Cole in Damien Leone's Terrifier 3, releasing in theaters October 11th. So please welcome to Real Appreciation, Mason McCarty.
Thank you, man. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, David.
Second time's a charm because I forgot to press record the first time, so happy for you to be here.
Take two. Let's go.
Mason, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. This is great timing. I just saw the movie for the first time last night at the New York premiere, and so it's settling in all of a sudden, but it's wild.
Speaking of wild, we're talking about Terrifier 3. And in case you're not aware, this podcast has basically unironically become a Terrifier stan account after David Howard Thornton and I did an episode that's nearing 100,000 views at the recording of this video. So I have to say thank you for being our second guest that is officially affiliated with the Terrifier franchise.
Yeah, thank you. I'm honored. I'm honored. That's awesome.
Speaking of the movie, you're playing the role of Cole in Terrifier 3. I know you probably can't say too much about it, but do talk to me about how you ended up becoming a part of the third Terrifier.
Man, yeah. Well, I was very familiar with Terrifier. I remember being I was at some theme park with some friends and we were on Twitter and we were like someone had posted the bedroom scene from Terrifier 2 and we were like, look at this. We watched it and we were like, oh my God, this is insane. And it spooked me. I was like, I haven't seen anything like this. This is another level on top of Saw. And but I'm a horror movie fan, and so I knew that fan base was huge. And then a couple months later I get an audition for the third one, and I'm like, oh boy, it freaked me out a little bit. I was like, I don't even know. I don't know yet. And but I knew that I just I was scared to mess it up. I was scared to like trip in an audition for this because I just knew that fan base is so incredible and loyal and just it's such a privilege to be a part of those movies. People just freak out about them. And anyways, me and my buddy we had some fun. I was reading a scene from Terrifier 2 and I didn't watch that scene. I kind of just went and shot something I thought would be fun, and we shot it in a car, which was kind of random and fun because the scene took place there. But then after that, I had a couple callbacks and a Zoom audition, and then I met Alexa, who plays Mia in the film, and we had a chemistry read on Zoom with Damien, and man, it kind of went from one thing to the next, but it just kind of felt more and more surreal because I was like, "Are you guys sure? Are you sure you want like this is?" I don't even know if I'm sure, but I'm so happy that it happened, man, because everybody is so cool and it was wild.
I'm so happy that you were a part of this. This sounds amazing. I cannot wait to go see it this weekend in theaters, and you guys should too.
Yeah, man, dude. Yeah, like I said, saw it last night and it lives up to the hype, man. And I'm a big movie fan and I love horror movies and I love these Terrifier movies. And this is the one, man. It's great. Man, yeah, I was giddy watching it. So
David was talking to me in that aforementioned interview I did with him about how he nearly puked on the set of Terrifier 3.
Is it true that I almost puked myself on the set of part three? And that is very, very true. That was not publicity that we're making up. That we have that on camera.
I'm not sure, but I wanted to ask, were you a witness to this or were you not on set when that happened?
I was not on set when it happened, but you know what's funny is I it's really interesting because when I read the full script, I was like, "Ooh, that's gross. That's gross. That's gross." And then it wasn't until I read this one scene and then I was like, "Oh, that's disgusting." I was like, "Oh my God." And then when that article came out, I just texted David and I was like, "Was it that scene?" And he's like, "Yeah, it really was." And I was like, "I knew it." And it's just as gross as people think it might be, man. It lives up to the hype, like I said. But yeah, I wasn't there for that, but if I was, I'd probably be getting sick too. It's it's a lot.
What are some of the more memorable experiences you have on the set of Terrifier 3?
I think, man, oh man, I just remember I remember meeting Elliot and Lauren and just being so taken by how grounded and cool and welcoming they are. And there's this great, I mean, Lauren just gets to she soaks up her screen time and just is such a star in this movie. But it was so amazing to watch them perform, watch them just like eat up their screen time because I mean, Alexa, thankfully I had Alexa with me because we kind of felt like the new kids on the shoot. We were just kind of like, all right, how do we fit in here and what are we doing? But man, I just loved watching them work, and I loved it. What was surreal was watching David talk in the makeup because we'd be waiting in between setups, and then I'm just sitting having like a lunch, and David's just sitting there in his full Art the Clown makeup, and he's like, "Yeah, so yeah, how you doing, man?" And he's so funny and he's so nice, and I'm like, this is the polar opposite. It was tricking my brain, but there were so many moments of just watching these great actors just like be so grounded and cool, and then just kill it in their scenes. They're so amazing. So
Were you as surprised to hear David talk when you first saw?
absolutely. I mean, what a sweetheart. And he's tall, and oh my gosh, you could just tell he's just like none of this has gotten to his head. He's a
Yeah.
friend to everyone, you know what I mean? And but yeah, listening to him talk is just, I don't know. It's even seeing him last night, it was still just like, this is weird, David. This is not, I don't know. There's David and then there's Art the Clown, and it's crazy how I can't even see David when he's doing that, man. It's really amazing. But
Yeah, we've been talking about doing another episode. We got to get you on it for this one too.
oh man, I'd love to be there, dude. Him and I had some fun in this movie, man. We had a great time.
Yeah, I'm talking to him about doing it. I would love to get you on board for it. I'm even talking to Damien Leone about it. He said he'd do it. He wants to catch some time to breathe.
Oh my gosh, dude. I was asking him last night. I was like, "Have you slept? Are you resting?" And he's like, "Ah, I slept last night." And I was like, "All right. Oh no."
It counts.
Yeah, they're traveling all over the world right now, dude. And good for them, man. That's hopefully they're just taking all their flowers as they should, man. It's really impressive what they did.
Outside of Terrifier, you portrayed the character of Dan Shelter in season 4 of Stranger Things. Talk to me about what it's like to be on the set of such a popular show like Stranger Things.
Oh my gosh, man, that was a surreal experience. I was just, I mean, as a lot of people, I was such a huge fan of that show since season one. I've had a poster of it on my wall since 2016 when it came out, and I knew for years I wanted to be in something like that. I never thought that would happen, but dude, it was wild. It was another thing where I auditioned and I kind of just like threw it out there because I really didn't think there was a shot that was gonna happen. And then when I got the call, the first thing my agent was like, "Hey, they just want to know if you're willing to cut your hair." And I was like, "Y'all can do whatever you want." I was like, "I don't even care." And so anyways, then I get the call that it was gonna happen. And man, I mean, one of my favorite aspects was like, I'm just a huge 80s fan, but their set design and all of the production details are just perfect. Like they don't miss a thing. And it was so surreal to be wearing these like authentic 80s clothes, and then you're walking on set, all the extras and all the cast are just looking so 80s, and you're on this set that's just like, this is not real life. This is insane. But the cast was so cool, and it was intimidating, but in the most like exciting way. So man, it was a treat. I was so sure they were going to cut my scene. I had no idea how that was going to fit in the show. But I'm so glad that experience happened, and everyone was so cool and nice, and I loved it, man. It was insane.
Speaking of the Stranger Things cast, I gotta ask, man, do you have any fun memories or experience working with any of them in particular?
My gosh, let me think. I it was really strange because I knew my scene was going to be with Amy Beth McNulty, who's just like such an amazing person. She's so sweet and kind. And anyways, I thankfully got to meet her and just hang out for like an hour and a half, even just getting to know her before we went and filmed. And so that made the stress a little come down, we were both walking into this together. But I remember like they walked us onto set and our cast chairs were just with, Joe, Maya, Sadie Sink, and they were just playing. I forget what the game was, but they were like, "Do you want to play?" We all just were sitting in this circle and we played this like fun, like it was kind of like that headbands game. But anyways, that I just remember sitting there and just being like, "Oh, we're just playing a game, before we go shoot." And it was just so, what is happening to me? Someone pinch me right now. But yeah, they're so funny and cool. And yeah, anyways.
That's amazing to hear, man. For those who may not yet be familiar with your work, what are some movies or even TV shows in particular you would recommend people go out there and watch outside of Terrifier 3, because we're trying to promote that pretty heavy here, to get a feel for what you bring to the table?
It's kind of funny. I found that I love producing, and I've made that a thing in my life in between acting. And so a lot of where you can kind of find me trying some things out, or a lot of just these short films that I've produced, or I work with a lot of great people in Nashville that I love dearly, and they're so talented, and we just go and produce and we write, and we just because we love movies. And so I mean, you can find my YouTube where I upload a lot of shorts there, and it's just my name, Mason McCarty. And anyways, I love that, man. Let me think. Oh man, I did this funny movie called Popular Theory about a couple years ago, and if you look at my IMDb, you can find everything pretty nicely there. But nothing as crazy as Terrifier 3, man, for sure. I mean, like that really shook me to be a part of that experience. This production. It was fantastic.
That's amazing, man. I've been so honored and humbled and grateful just to be able to promote Terrifier 3 as much as I have been with the past month on this channel. I've only been doing the show for 2 months, and because of Terrifier, it's like we're about to hit 1 million views total, and it's just like wild.
Let's go, dude.
Hopefully, you and I can both be in Terrifier 4 somehow.
I know. Let's see what happens. And dude, I hope you love the movie, man. And I just think people are really gonna love it. It lives up to the hype, and it delivers, and everyone's really amazing. And Damien Leone, man, just took it to another level. Just incredible.
This show is very big on gratitude as well as appreciation. And one of the most important things I do every day, Mason, is when I wake up and before I go to bed, I say 3 things that I'm grateful for. So I want to ask you, what are 3 things in your life that you're grateful for right now?
Oh man. Wow. I'm very grateful for my parents right now. They were able to, I mean, just the way that they've supported me to get to this, and I'm being flooded with texts by them. How's the premiere? And this is really like my first time going to a premiere of this size. And so I'm really grateful for them, because I can't even imagine how crazy it would have sounded, or how it sounded when I was a kid and I was like, I want to be an actor. Like, what a crazy thing that they would have been like, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna help you pursue that. So I'm so grateful for them, man. And wow, I'm grateful for my buddy Hunter. He joined me for the premiere because I needed someone to hold my hand because it was gonna be scary. Hunter Romanios, he's one of my best friends. I'm grateful for him this morning. And I'm grateful to be in New York City, man. I don't get to spend a lot of time out here, and I feel so blessed. And an extra, I'm grateful for the cast and crew. They were just as amazing when we were filming, and it was so good to see them. And but that's such a good question, man. Thank you. That really put some things in perspective here. So thank you.
Absolutely, man. I remember the first time I got into acting and I got my first role with Eric Roberts. I was like, this is fucking huge.
Dude, oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Have you worked with Eric yet?
Dude, I almost did a movie that The scheduling fell through, but he was in it, and I was kind of getting excited because he's just a legend, and he's been around for so long. And gosh, good for you, man. That is so cool.
I'm sure one day you'll be working with him.
I hope so. I hope so.
Hey, man, where can people find you online?
People can find me on Instagram. It's just Mason McCarty, or on my YouTube, it's Mason McCarty. Um, and then I also produce under my production company, the Day Productions. And yeah, so you can find me on Instagram for The Day Films Co. And yeah, that's where I'm kind of keeping busy on there, man. Yeah.
Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Please go watch Terrifier 3 in theaters October 11th. And by the way, Mason, hold on. I'm going to do something. Damien Leone, I'm calling you out to come on this show right now and chat all things Terrifier 3. I want to see it. I know the people want to see it. Mason wants to see it, right, Mason?
Yes, I want to see it. Damien, we have so many questions, man. And dude, he's a genius, man. And every second that I can get just like an idea, what did this mean, Damien? I'm like, what did this mean in Terrifier 2? And like, dude, anytime I can just get a nugget out of his brain like that, he's a genius. So Damien, please, come on.
Thank you so much for your time, my friend. This was awesome.
Dude, thank you so much, David. This was great. Thank you.
All right, man. I wish you all the luck in the world. Keep up the amazing work.
I appreciate it, man. Bye-bye.